the tape, but anyway, but that's okay. That's okay. There we go. All right. So again, good job to all of you, you who passed the milestone, everybody who's present right now. Got a couple of folks who coming in. All right, so what I need, like I said, what I need for all of you to do is to make sure that you have no zeros in the grade book. We are coming up. We got 2 weeks, two weeks left. So we want to finish our gizmo. Most only 2 or 3 people are finished with the dichotomous key gizmo. And then before class is over, I'm going to show you what the final project is. So you're going to have a final project. We will do a couple of little quizzes here and there, but you're going to be not a big test. But we will have one final project, and it will be due on the 15th because we need everything graded before then. So I don't need any scragglers on that. So hey. All right, so again, finish your dichotomous key. And like I said, before in the next few minutes, I have to get it loaded into the module. And then I will tell you how the um, final project is going to go. All right. And if you have already turned in your dichotomous, don't forget, excuse me, dichotomous key has a quiz at the end of it. So don't forget to do that as well. The grade includes both the worksheet and the quiz. Yeah, I only have 2 people who have turned in dichotomous key. So everybody work on getting that done. Everybody work on getting that done. Dichotomous key. That's the gizmo. And again, please focus on use class time, classwork. Let's get that done so that you will be ready to start the project when I put it up. Also, if there are any zeros, the things that I need to open for you, please let me know. Uh, this is the week I have to call home and tell mom and dad that you're not doing your work. If you're not doing your work, so please make sure that my list of phone calls is to a minimum. Again, there is a 5-question quiz at the end of the activity. Please make sure that you take it. Right now, it looks like only one person has done so. Mhm. All right. Thank you, Keone. So you are finished. I got you. All right. Everybody else working on dichotomous key and getting that quiz done. Who's the other person? The other person, Chris, he's not here. He needs to do his quiz. Okay. Dichotomous key, dichotomous key. That's what we're working on today. All right. Where am I? Page 5. Okay, give me 1 second to pull up the worksheet so I know what you're talking about. I think I know. Okay, please. All right, do you mean this one? Jocelyn, is that the, okay. All right, so on the last page, folks, you have to create your own, you're going to look at these birds and you're going to create your own key. So you're going to create your own 3 sets of couplets, and at the end of each line, so the first two, whatever you do for the first, so pick a picture and write a trait A or B, and because they're all the same kind of bird, but pick a trait that is unique to one of them. Because when you say go to 2A, whatever you write for 2A should be the answer to your question. You only have so many blanks to fill in here. So it says, look at the trait used to separate the two groups of birds, hint the colors and patterns, plumage, and then use the trait to write a statement number 1 on the table below. So pick a trait and try not to pick the same traits that they used before. And for this one, like I said, for A, pick one trait and then say, and then pick a trait that the other ones don't have. I mean, pick a trait that this one has, that the other ones don't have. So your statement is has it or doesn't have it. And then that one says, so line A will tell you go to number 2. And then when you get here, pick another trait that that bird does have. So that at the end of that line, you just write the name of that bird. And then this one, it shouldn't have it or has another trait. So you should be able to say at the end of this line, it didn't have that trait, but it has this one. So it's this kind of bird. And if it's not that, then they need to go to, actually that was number 3. So if it didn't have this one, go to number 3. Okay. Over here, once you go here, you can also say, yes, it has it. No, it doesn't. So then it can still go to number 3 at the end of the lines. At the end of this one, you can name one. And at the end of this one, you can name one. Okay. So identify the trait, repeat the step for number 2, B. Similar to the way, all right, similar to the way it had it on the gizmo. Let me see if I have my gizmo up here. I got the grades, but not the. Okay. All right, you want to go to that's the quiz. You want it similar to the way these go, but don't use those characteristics. Okay, similar to this. And you see the way each of these ends up. You went to 3, and 3 had yes, it's this, and B is that, something like that. Okay, but try not to use those characteristics. Pick a different characteristic. Everybody got that? Because I know that's a question some of the rest of you are going to ask as well. All right, everybody Everybody. The only person who's finished is Keone, and I'm gonna get that project up so you can get working as well. Everybody else is working on a gizmo. Good afternoon, Sherrod. How can I help you, Sherrod? I think you're in the wrong class. Is this fifth period? Where did she go? Folks, sometimes y'all log in, log out. This is the most I've had absent in a while. All right, folks, I'm going to take a minute to show you the final project. So pay attention, take a minute and pay attention because this is worth 100 points. It is the final project. There's not going to be an exam, just the final project. All right, so it's kind of like what we were doing earlier. You are going to do a PowerPoint presentation. And you're going to create a visual presentation on classification. You are going to pick 2 organisms of your choice, 1 plant, 1 animal. Okay. And then you're going for each one, you are going to give their common name and their scientific name. You're going to do a full classification of them. That means you start with kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. So you can have a chart where you just have those words going down the side and their names to the side. So that's one slide just on classification. And you can do both of them on the same slide, the classification for your plant. In other words, if you did a chart and you did kingdom, phylum, class, order, genus, and species, you can have the next title be the name of your plant and the other one be your animal and have them all on one page. Okay. And then common name and scientific name will be mentioned on there too, because the scientific name is your genus and species name. All right, after that, you have to separate them. So you want to give the physical description of your plant and you want a physical description of your animal. You want to list so from there you wanted to just go everything about the plant. So you want its habitat. Where do you normally find it? What ecosystem is it normally found in? An ecosystem, we mean, is it desert, terrestrial, aquatic? Those are ecosystems. Okay. What is its role in the ecosystem? Okay. When we talked about keystone species, everything has a place. Everything has a role in this in the food chain. It is a food for who? Does it benefit somebody? Does it is it a food source for us? Is it important for us? And then an interesting fact about each one. Okay, so you want one plant, one animal, and you want to answer all of these questions about them. You want to make sure that you have plenty of pictures. Okay, so you want a title, and the title should have the common name of your two organisms. And you want to make sure that it's clearly, don't try to bunch it all up on one slide, spread it out. You want accurate scientific information on their classification. You want to make sure that you include your references and good pictures. Alrighty. I think I have this twice on here, so let me take that out. Okay, let me edit this because you've got this on here twice. The requirements. What you want to have, then so for the rubric, it's 15 points for the plant, 15 points for animals. So on these 3 points, and then in general, references and neatness all together. All right, but I'm going to edit this because the requirements are on there twice. All right. So that is the final project. So it's a PowerPoint presentation. Come on. All right. Oh, I think I had the whole thing on here twice. I sure do. Required components. Stop right there. There. All right. There we go. It was way longer than it needed to be. Okay, so again, you have to do a PowerPoint presentation, one plant, one animal. You want their common name. Everything has a common name, like an oak tree, but oak tree has a scientific name. A cow is a common name, but it also has a scientific name. Then you want to, like I said, you could do a chart, and I'll pull up an example of what I mean by that, where you can just have one chart that has all of those classification headings coming down, and then next to each one, in your other two columns, you can have one column for your plant, one column for your animal. And then the rest of it, you'll have to separate. So this physical description, you want to do a whole physical description of your plant, habitat, ecosystem, role in ecosystem, interesting fact. And then you want to do the same thing for your animal. Description, physical description. In other words, you're describing, does it walk on four legs? Does it have paws? Does it have, be as detailed as possible. Okay, they have fur, no fur, scales, that kind of thing. They're cold-blooded, warm-blooded, those kind of details you want to make sure that you're including. And then if they do something interesting, you want to say that. Okay. In other words, role in this ecosystem could be that they are the keystone species. They may not be the keystone species, but they have a role. They are the main food source of certain animal, or they are the top predator, that kind of thing. Okay. All right. So you want to make sure you have a title page. You want it well organized. Make sure that your information is accurate and complete. 3 credible sources, and make sure you have lots of pictures. Okay. And I think I had that already. I think I need to edit one more time. Where am I? Like right here. Okay. So, yeah, this got to go. There we go. It duplicated itself. All right. Way longer than it needed to be. One plant, one visual. There we go. All right, so this is the final project. Last thing you have to do for the year. But it is worth 100 points. So it is important that you do it. Notice the due date, and it's open until it's the same date because the grades have to be in after that. So there's no going past the 15th. Everything is due by the 15th because your grades are due that Monday. Okay, student view. There we go. There it is. All right, again, if you're doing the gizmo, don't forget to do the quiz at the end. We are just about out of time. So find a good place to stop, save, save, save. Make sure that you don't have to start all over again. And you're in a good place, go ahead and log out. And I'll see you on Wednesday. All right, folks, go ahead and log out. Time is up. My next class is sneaking in. Hmm.